Hello, 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 and welcome to the Marvelous Monday broadcast of Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Hello, thank you so much for being here. I am outside, and yes, I have my off, okay? I sprayed myself down to make sure I do not get feasted upon like I did the last time we were together, okay? Hopefully, it has worked and I will not have to race into the house just so I can get away from all of the insects, okay? Marvelous Monday to you all. So glad to be with you outside again. It's so nice to be out here. The first time I did it, I was like, oh, I got to do it again. I like being outside with all of you, out in the fresh air. That was fresher before I had to spray all of that off spray. And, with the sun still being out and the beautiful green trees and the grass, even though I don't quite like the insects, I do love being out in nature. And I didn't do a garden this year, but we will be talking about some things that may happen in a garden and what can be done with the things in a garden. We will be reading some books about those types of things today, okay? How was your weekend? Hopefully you had an awesome weekend. You got to hang out or just chill and relax. It's almost coming up on school time, friends, so camp will be ending soon. If you're going to summer school, hopefully that will be ending soon and it will be over. And you'll get to go on vacation and relax and hang out with some of your friends. Of course, as we all know, you got to be careful out there right now. So make sure you are still washing your hands. Make sure that you're dabbing when you cough, okay? And make sure that you are wearing a mask for you and for everybody else, okay? Okay, wait a minute now. All right, that's just my shirt. I was like, is that an insect? But it wasn't. It was just my shirt. So, hopefully you had an awesome weekend. You got to go and do some things, or if you just wanted to relax, sit at home, watch some movies with your family or your friends, hopefully you got to do that too. Now, if you are on, please let me know if you have any issues hearing me. This is a new computer, have some new setup things, and I won't know while I'm on whether people can hear me. Hopefully it's not a problem, but if it is, give me some notice and let me know, okay? All right, with all of that being said, here on Miss Hope's Reading Hour, we are still breezing through books. Remember when I talked to you on Fabulous Friday, Fabulous Friday, I told you I didn't realize how many books we had went through even though we had this much of a break, okay? So I do have a little bit of donations left from our very generous donors who donated the last time when I told you guys I need more books, okay? And the generous donors, they gave, and I still do have some funds left to buy some more books, but as time goes on, I'm going to need your help even more. So if you would like to donate to the Miss Hope's Reading Hour Library, please feel free to do so. If you look down here at the ticker, it's coming back around. You can donate via Cash App, or you can donate using digital gift cards to your favorite book retailer, or just like a Visa gift card that can be used for donating books to Miss Hope's Reading Hour. And if you just want to send me some books, like I have books, I just want to send them to you, Miss Hope. How can I send them? Where do that I send them when I want to send them? Guess what? You can send that information that you want to send me some books to that email address too, the same one you would use, get out of here, bug. That same one that you would use if you wanted to send a digital gift card, okay? So, oh, that's a mosquito. That's a mosquito. It's looking for something to chomp, but it can't chomp me because I'm sprayed. Okay, so do send that information to that email address, and I will let you know how you can send me those books, friends. I will let you know, okay? Now, let us get to the books that we are reading today, all right? So, our first book is called The Great Garden Escape. I saw this and I was like, a mystery? Let's see how this pans out. The Great Garden Escape. This book is by Erica L. Clymer. The Great Garden Escape. Can't wait to read that one with you all. And I read through this one and I really liked it. I hope that you will like it too. It is called Our Little Kitchen. And this book is by Jillian Tamaki. Our Little Kitchen. And last but certainly not least, we are still working on knowing these unteachables, Mr. Gordon Corman, okay? So we will be reading some more about the unteachables. Now let us get to book number 1, my friends. The Great Garden Escape by Erica L. Clymer. Let's see who the publisher of this book is. Let's see. Oh, I believe this is a self-published book. And the person who wrote the book is from Pennsylvania. Not too far from here. Not too far from Philadelphia. Very nice. First self-published book we have read here on Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Nice. Hey, remember I told you, that could be you. I could be reading one of your books on Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Young ones, older young ones, parent friends, teacher friends, parent-teacher friends, and all friends of Miss Hope's Reading Hour. If you want to be a writer, you don't have to wait until you're an adult. You can do it right now. And you could win one of those great medals and honors that people win for being authors and illustrators. Remember, an illustrator is the person who makes the pictures, draws the pictures in the book. All right, let's get to it. The Great Garden Escape by Erica L. Clymer. You know, the new book, especially the paper ones, you gotta bend it up a little bit. The sun beams down in Fruit Garden. On this splendid day, Sally Strawberry and Billy Blueberry are ready to play. Oh, they have names. Look at that. The best friends run through sprinklers on Raspberry Ridge. They climb Lime Hill and hop over Blackberry Bridge. Sally and Billy soon reach Mango Mountainside. The pair race to ride on the watermelon slide. Down they go, zooming faster and faster. Sally starts to worry. This might be a disaster. At the bottom, Billy yells, "I can't stop!" The two berries fly over Cherry Cliff Drop. Oh boy. They land on a pile of dirt down below, in a place where all the vegetables grow. Oh, so they're now where the vegetables are. They look pretty worried. Let's see what happens. That was quite a fall, they suddenly hear. Sally and Billy see a squash standing near. How do we get home to Fruit Garden? Asks Sally. The squash replies, through a secret gate in the valley. There are 10 clues that will show you the way. Find and solve them by the end of today. The garden gate locks at sunset, you see. Hurry, clue 1 swings over there in that tree. Squash is giving them the lowdown on how to get home. All right, so you got to pay attention to this and see where it is that they have to go, okay? They thank the squash, and to the tree they run. Sally and Billy read clue number 1. We look like little trees, but instead of leaves, our flowerets blow in the breeze. Flowerets. What vegetable has flowerets? Let's see. Broccoli! Correct! Broccoli boondocks, 720 feet to the right. The skip past Radish Region's lot to investigate broccoli growing spot. They got it. They're like, all right, let's go. We gotta get home. They search throughout broccoli boondocks and find clue 2 beneath a pile of rocks. If you come to our home, you won't know we're around. Our orange body tall, just below the ground. Our orange bodies grow below the ground. What could that be? Carrots. Correct. Carrot County, 150 feet to the left. Sally and Billy zip by the Turnip Town scenery on a mission to inspect Carrot County's greenery. Turnips grow in the ground too. They hop a carrot plant only to see a little ant carrying clue number 3. You may call us spuds if you wish, but we'll be mashed, baked, or fried, sitting on your dish. Oh, spuds. Let's see. Potatoes. Correct. Potato plateau, 980 feet to the right. Through the spears of asparagus terrain, they go to arrive on the grounds of Potato Plateau. And did you know that asparagus grow up out of the ground just like this? I saw it for the first time and was like, whoa, didn't know they grew like that. Sally see clue 4 and squirm. It's surrounded by a giant brown worm. To solve this riddle, put your heads together. A piece of us is light as a feather. What vegetable grows in a head and its pieces are light as a feather? Let's see. Lettuce! Correct. Lettuce neighborhood. 603 feet to the right. In Brussels sprout backwoods, they cautiously tread until spotting lettuce neighborhood just up ahead. So I know some of you may not like Brussels sprouts. I like them. If you like cabbage, they kind of the same. And they grow in bunches tall like that. While strolling down Romaine Lane to Iceberg Pike, Sally and Billy see Clue 5 riding a bright red bike. We come together as a bunch. Break us apart, and you'll hear a crunch. Oh, they grow in bunches. And when you break them apart, you hear a crunch. I wonder what vegetable that is. Celery! Correct! Celery Cove, 829 feet to the left. They brush by giant leaves in Cauliflower Grove to play detectives in the land of Celery Grove. Yeah, cauliflower grows in bunches too. Kind of like broccoli, but just tighter. Just beyond a fallen stalk, Clue 6 sits perched upon a rock. A cozy little pod is where we reside. We're called Snap, Snow, or even Black-Eyed. Okay, so a vegetable with sugar, snap, or black-eyed in the name, and they grow in a pod. Peas! Correct! Park of Peas, 525 feet. The pair steps through cucumber plains with ease while en route to the teeny Park of Peas. I grew cucumbers last summer. They were big. Sally wonders, where could Clue 7 be? There it is, says Billy, resting below that tree. We can be tangy, a little bit sweet, or we can be spicy and too hot to eat. Okay, so what is that? Something that could be sweet or spicy and too hot to eat. Let's see what it is. Peppers! Correct! Pepper Place, 214 feet to the right. A mushroom shouts, "Where are you going at such a fast pace?" Sally calls out to find our next clue inside Pepper Place. They don't have much time. They gotta get to that gate before it closes for the night. Sally and Billy look left and right and all around. They discover Clue 8 atop a dirt mound. Our first name is a mix of yellow and blue. Our last name is shared by Pinto, too. Our name is a mix of yellow and blue. Last name the same as Pinto, too? I think I know what it might be. Green beans. Correct. Green bean jungle, 176 feet to the left. The ears of corn look quite mystified as two berries scurry through their countryside. They're like, hey, this is for vegetables. What are you doing here? And just a fact for you. Corn is a grain and not a vegetable. But because you boil it, it tastes more like a vegetable than a grain than if you grind it for cornmeal or something like that. In Green Bean Jungle, swinging vine to vine, Sally and Billy capture clue number 9. I will not be mistaken for a yam. No sir, no ma'am. I am not a yam. Okay, so people think it's a yam, but it's not a yam. What is it? I know what that is. Sweet potato. Correct. Sweet potato slope, 539 feet to the right. When the two friends appear, the eggplants are aghast. Never have they ever seen berries move so fast. They're like, we gotta get to the gate before it closes. Down Sweet Potato Slope, they roll to find Clue 10 stuck in a hole. Hold your nose if you get near. Our strong smell makes eyes tear. Oh, I know what that vegetable is. The only one that makes you cry. We know what that is. Onions. Correct. Onion Valley. 943 feet to the right. Ooh, they have been walking. Woohoo! We've solved all the clues, exclaimed Sally. The best friends high five and head for the valley. They gotta go. Sally and Billy climb Beat Summit's rumble. Onion Valley looks like nothing but trouble. Ooh, look at that smell coming from Onion Valley. Get your eyes ready. They slowly descend into the valley and spot the gate down a dreary, dark valley. The sun has almost set and the gate is about to close. The pair run as fast as they can while holding their nose. Ooh, those are some mean-looking onions. Not too friendly. Sally and Billy just make it through and collapse to the ground with a phew. I'm happy to be back home, says Billy with a sigh. The best friends lay in fruit garden, staring up at the sky. Whew! Imagine being Onion Valley if you didn't make it to the gate on time. The end. Oh wow, I like that story. That was a good one. Nice with some good clues too. I like that. So, I just thought of a program that sometimes we have in school called Eat Right Now Philly. If any of you Eat Right Philly people are watching Miss Hope's Reading Hour, this will be a good book for when you go to different schools with all those tasty, healthy treats. Nice book with a lot of good clues. So glad I got to read that with you all. And now for our next book, Our Little Kitchen. Now in this book, you'll see how the things in the garden and some other things come together in our little kitchen. Let's see. Our Little Kitchen by Jillian Tamaki. And this is an Abrams Books for Young Readers book. Hi. Hello. All right, come on, pages. Every Wednesday, we come together in this little kitchen. Hello. Hello. Our little kitchen, a tiny, small place, is just big enough. So squeeze in and make space. I wonder what they're all coming together in that little kitchen for. Let's find out. See. Tie on your apron. Roll up your sleeves. Pans are out and it's hot. The kitchen's all ready. Where do we start? Well, let's look around and see what we've got. What we've grown. What we've kept. Been given and bought. All we need is around us. We just need to look. They said what we've grown, so they must have grown some things to cook in their little kitchen. I wonder what they're gonna make. See how our little garden has grown? Ooh, get away. Remember how we pushed seeds into soil one by one? Tomatoes are ripe. I'll pick a few. Look at these zooks. Let's use them up too. These carrots, though, still so very small. The lettuce is holy. Bugs ate through it. I found some carrots. Just a week old or two. Half of a celery. 10 radishes. Ooh. Oh, wow, they're finding stuff everywhere. In the garden, in the refrigerator. What are these people gonna make? And who are they cooking for? Don't know what this is, but it's gotta go. The bakery brought us some day-old bread. A minute in the oven, maybe 2, soft and warm and good as new. 3 bags of apples, some of them bruised. Cut off the brown bits, they're still good to use. A few sticks of butter, cinnamon, sugar, oats from the cupboard. A sweet apple crumble. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Anything that's kind of like apple pie, I'm down for it. Beans from the food bank. 3rd week in a row, but it's what we've got. We'll use them somehow. Bean salad, bean soup, bean tacos, bean stew. I'm out of ideas. What about you? Glug, glug, glug. Our kitchen's really cooking now. Listen to the music we make. Chop, 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 chop. Sizzle. Sprinkle. Pick. Slice. Beep. Peel. Splash. Trim. Toss. Squish. Gotta give it a taste to see if it tastes good, right? 15 minutes! 15 minutes for what? You're doing a lot of cooking for somebody. Here come the early birds. Grab your favorite seat. How's life treating you? How was your week? Good to see you. New haircut? Nice weather. It's all right. Fork, knife, and spoon. Now roll it up tight. 10 more minutes. Still so much to do. Behind you, watch out, salad coming through. It looks like we're having chili. Those who don't cook don't get to complain. Well, it's not perfect, but it's the best I could do. 2 minutes left. Let's wrap it up, crew. Who are they cooking all this stuff for? Already? Can't be. Where's the salt? Where's the cheese? Give me 1 minute. Just one more sec, please. No, 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 no. Our neighbors are waiting. I mean it. Let's go. neighbors. See who these neighbors are. Ah, those are the neighbors. They're like, ooh, look at all that wonderful food coming out. Look at all of that. I have not had dinner yet. It's making me kind of hungry. The best sound in the world is slurp. Is your body warm? Is your belly full? They're looking warm and full bellied to me. Our little kitchen can't give us all that we need, but would you like seconds? Delicious as always. A kiss on the cheek. Have a nice evening. See you next week. Okay, time to clean up. I guess so after all that cooking. Author's note. Every Wednesday for many, I volunteered at a small community kitchen in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, which is in New York. I chose that program, secular but run out of a small church, because it was near my house and didn't require a lengthy training period. Just show up on Wednesday, they told me. So I did. I wasn't welcomed with open arms or even a hello. You can start by peeling those potatoes, maybe. It was a busy working kitchen. There was just too much to do. I did as I was told and tried not to get in the way. I came again the following week, and the week after that. Eventually, the kitchen crew softened to me. Part of the team. Sometimes our kitchen had a lot. In the full burst of summer, when we harvested from the garden, Upstate Farms donated produce, or we had just held a fundraiser. But often, we had much less to work with. Many meals in the colder months were cobbled together with not ideal ingredients, less beautiful and more functional, but always a full meal, nourishing and on time-ish. There was no option. The neighborhood, it was changing. Rents were on the rise. The economy crashed. When things are stretched thin, food is often the first thing to be cut. As passionate and tenacious as we were, our little kitchen was not a solution to our problems of food, housing, and economic insecurity. It merely provided one meal on Wednesday nights. Still, we kept showing up. We activated our spirits, used our hands, nourished our bodies so that we might shout no to injustice, and stood arm in arm as we faced down our different struggles. We are often told that a single person can change the world. Just think about what many of us can accomplish with our body, voices, votes, and hearts together. Oh, wow. Such an awesome story. I'm so glad I got to read this with you guys. Our little kitchen. And do you know that there are a lot of these types of little kitchens all over this country to help people who might be dealing with food insecurity, not knowing where their next meal is coming from? And they had a garden where they didn't have to always rely on going to the supermarket to buy produce They had it right in their backyard. And then whatever they got donated or what was in their refrigerator or what came from different organizations and restaurants and stores that day. So they used everything they had, whether it was ideal or not, to make a healthy, nourishing meal for their neighbors, people in the community, or even people who weren't. They considered everyone their neighbors and everyone from their little kitchen. Such a good story. So glad I got to read it with you guys. All right, my friends. Now we got to change the ambiance, okay? Where is it? I got to find it. So, we are here, Unteachables. Let me see if I can find it. I cannot find it right now. Wait a minute. Let's see. Because I want to have our ambiance, y'all. I want to have our ambiance. Where is it? Let's see if I can find it. Ooh, something got me. All right, so I can't find it. I'll find it for the next time. I don't want us to waste the time of getting to what's happening in the Unteachables, okay? All right, so we are now at chapter 19, okay? So, okay, where we were in the Unteachables is the class has gone to Jake Terranova's car dealership for their trip, okay? So they go for the trip. It goes well. They're liking what they're seeing. Jake Terranova has bought pizza for everyone. But then near the end, Elaine had snuck some cookies that were actually meant for new customers. So she snuck into the cookie display and was taking cookies and putting them in her pockets. So while they were walking around the shop where the mechanics are, where they're actually working on the cars that need to be fixed, not the new cars, she's stuffing cookies in her mouth and she starts to choke. And everyone like, okay, or is she just leaning over to try to see more of what's going on down below? No. They realize she's choking. They try to help her. Kiana tries to give her the Heimlich maneuver. It does not work. Barnstorm then takes his crutch and whaps her in the back. Piece of cookie goes flying into a classic car's motor. Jake Terranova is like, oh my, you've got to clean that motor because the worst thing inside of a motor is sugar. And if they find out that someone bought a sugared engine from me, out of the business. Basically, by that time, the trip was over. But as they were driving up the street, going back to the school, Jake Terranova calls Mrs. Fountain and says, we found a student asleep in the trunk of a car. They had to turn around and go get Raheem. Fell asleep in the trunk of a car. But Kiana asked a very interesting question. She said, Miss Fountain, why did Jake Terranova call you? And why does he have your number? And Miss Fountain, she starts dun dun dun. Okay. So we're at chapter 19. Parker Elias. Hams has a lot of life experience. Being super old and all that. For example, She tells me that when she was first dating my grandfather back in Israel, there was this other girl who was trying to steal him away while Grams was doing her military service in Haifa. So Grams challenged this girl to an arm wrestling match, and the prize was Grandpa. I peer over at her in the passenger seat of the pickup. What if you lost? I was loading supply trucks, kiddo. I was strong as an ox. As much as I loved Grams, I'm not sure I believe the story. The last time she explained how she rid of the girl who moved in on Grandpa, she said she backed over her Vespa, the Jeep. Grams tells the same stories because she doesn't remember telling them last time and the time before that. Some people might find that annoying. To me, it just means that we've always got something new and interesting to talk about while I'm driving on. I just wish she could remember my name. The reason the subject comes up, dating and boyfriends, I mean, is that there's a rumor that Miss Fountain and Jake Terranova are going out. Our class thinks this because Jake has kind of adopted SCS 8. Jake, that's what he told us to call him. Even the employees at the dealership call him Mr. Terranova, but to us, he's Jake. Exhibit. He always uses Mr. when he talks to Jake, which is almost never. Jake may be hitting it off with Miss Fountain, but he isn't getting very far with Mr. Kermit. Here's how it usually goes down. Jake shows up in room 117 to invite us to Terranova Motors so the mechanics can show us how windshield wipers work or how a battery supplies power to the starter. He has to come in person because Mr. Kermit's phone is so old that it would probably explode if it ever received a text. Meanwhile, Miss Fountain randomly walks in. Oh, what a surprise! Mr. Terranova's here. She calls him Mr. Terranova too. We're not fooled. He calls her Emma. From there, something always happens to connect our two classes. Maybe Vladimir starts squeaking because he hears Aldo's voice and won't shut up until Aldo goes over there. Or the 7th graders are just about to have circle time and we get in on that. Jake loves circle time, and whenever it's his turn to comment someone, he always picks Miss Fountain. Mateo is confused. I thought Jake chose us because he wants to make up for the cheat, not because of Miss Fountain. That's just his excuse, Barnstorm puts it wisely. Do you think it's the car? I muse. Jake rolls in a really snazzy Porsche convertible that's be a lot of fun to drive. Of course it's not the car, Kiana retorts angrily. Miss Fountain isn't that kind of person. She wants a relationship. I don't understand how Kiana can know something like that. But whatever the reason, life is definitely better since Jake started hanging around. Everybody loves him, even Aldo. And Aldo hates everybody. Jake's more like another kid than an adult, but a kid who has a life with tons of money and no adults telling him what to do. He talks to me about cars, to Barnstorm about sports, and to Mateo about Game of Thrones. He talks to Elaine. I guess car dealers don't worry about being headbutted downstairs or tossed into garbage dumpsters. He talks to Kiana about practical things. He asks Raheem's opinion on an art for new ads for Terranova Motors, and Raheem never so much as yawns when he's around. The only person who can't schmooze is Mr. Kermit. Our teacher isn't quite mean to him. Most of the time, he just ignores Jake, those who ignore us. When Mr. Kermit's old car breaks down, he has it towed all the way across town, even though Jake offers to fix it for free. Ribbit would rather pay a lot of money than accept a favor from his old enemy. Whatever the reason, Jake has started hanging around. The trips to Terra Nova Motors are amazing. At first, the service staff weren't too thrilled to see Elaine because of what happened that time with the cookie. But the compressor for the pneumatic system conks, and Elaine's the only one who can loosen a strip bolt using a hand wrench. All the mechanics stop what they're doing and applaud. Kid, that was something, the service chief exclaims admiringly. If that lift system loses power, can we count on you to pick up cars on your shoulders? Time I've ever seen Elaine blush. I'll bet the kid she headbutted down the stairs wouldn't think it's so funny that an eighth grade girl is stronger than a shop full of adult mechanics. At first, the mechanics just talk a lot and show us stuff. But pretty soon, we're doing real work. Jake guides my hand as I fit a new hose into the radiator of a Jeep Cherokee. As I set the ring to seal the connection, it feels just right. Somehow, I know that hose leak. The boss reaches in and tests my handiwork. Perfect. Not so tight that the rubber might split. Nice job, Parker. It's weird. I open a book and the letters are all jumbled together into an unbreakable code. But I look at a car engine and it all makes sense. Even if the tire still says Ready Goo, supposed to be Goodyear. Mr. Kermit is watching me, and he's almost smiling. I think I can count on a puffy tail being added to my line of the chart today. Terra Nova Motors isn't the only place we're doing real work. It's happening in room 117, too. Mr. Kermit teaching stuff. Science, English. We have our first test of the year, social studies. And Mr. Kermit even... When we get to class the next day, our papers are face down on our desks. Aldo flips his over. D? Ribbit gave tests before, and now he's throwing D's around? Oh, Ribbit never gave tests before, and now he's throwing D's around? Barnstorm laughs in his face. It isn't Ribbit's fault, you're stupid. He examines his own paper. The word incomplete is written across the top. What? He complains. At least I got a grade, Aldo tells him. I miss the old Ribbit, Barnstorm complains. Yeah, Aldo agrees. This is way too much like education. I get an incomplete too, mostly because I finished only 7 of the 20 questions. But I blink. 7 check marks parade down the page, which means whatever I did, I aced. I still got an incomplete. Ooh, but an incomplete dumb, but not an incomplete dumb, just incomplete slow. It stinks to fail, whatever. But I disagree with Aldo and Barnstorm that our class was better before. We'll be in high school next year. Will they have an SCS 9 for us? Followed by an SCS 10, SCS 11, and SCS... And then what? Sooner or later, something has to change. It might as well start now. As I take my seat, I catch a glimpse of the test paper on Elaine's desk. I shake my... I must be reading it wrong. That's what I do. On the other hand, how do you scramble a single letter? If I didn't know better, I swear Elaine rhymes with pain. Just pulled an A. Whoa. Chapter 20. Jake Terra Nova. As I cruise along River Street with the top down, the red brick of Greenwich School heaves into view. That place used to be a bad memory. I was never much of a student, but middle was a really rough time. I was lucky to get away with a suspense cheating thing. If my dad hadn't belonged to the same college fraternity as a couple of the school board members, I probably would have been expelled. It was that close. Now though, grade school means Emma. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Just the thought that she's somewhere inside the building puts a smile on my face. The smile disappears when I recognize the figure standing at the to the driveway, glancing impatiently at his watch. Mr. Kermit, my old teacher. The man who has every reason to drink from the haterade where I'm back in 7th grade. I was so happy not to be expelled that there wasn't another thought in my head. It never crossed my mind that the episode might cause problems for my teacher. Why would it? Mr. Kermit was completely innocent. Who knew that better than the guy who was completely guilty? But that's only the half of it. According to Emma, Mr. Kermit's life crashed after that. His reputation was shot. His engagement to Emma's mom fell apart. And he totally burned out professionally. Honestly, I had no clue until Emma showed me the article about the Vuvuzelas. The fact that the scandal still sticks to Mr. Kermit after all years is nuts. Not that I ever had the power to change anything. I was a middle school kid in big trouble. I followed my parents' instructions to the letter. Basically, shh and keep your nose clean. Now that I know the extent of it, I'd do anything to make things right. The problem is, it's too late. Sure, Mr. Kermit is letting me help with his class of unteachables, and I'm getting along great with the kids. But as for the teacher himself, no dice. I checked the clock on my Porsche's high-tech dashboard. It's only 2 p.m. Why is it Mr. Kermit in school? I pull alongside him and wave. Mr. Kermit scowls at me with what Mateo calls the Squidward Grinch face. That kid's pretty weird, but he's usually spot on. He's nicknamed me Han Solo because both of us are lovable scoundrels. Maybe I walked away from the cheating scandal with a slap on the wrist, but lately it's come back to haunt me in all sorts of ways. Everything okay, Mr. Kermit, I ask? My taxi is late. Right, his car is in the shop. I volunteered to fix it no charge, but he wasn't having any of that. To say he's stubborn as a mule is an insult to the mules. Hop in, I invite. I'll give you a ride wherever you need to go. No thanks, he replies formally. I've been waiting 40 minutes for this taxi. It'll be here any second. It's not coming, I persist. Did you try Uber? He looks blank. I remember that Mr. Kermit has a flip phone that's probably as old as his car. There are smartphones and dumb phones. His is a rock. I unlock the passenger door. Mr. Kermit, please. Lift. When he reluctantly gets in and announces his destination, I nearly choke. He's going to pick up his car from Kingston's Auto Works. Are you serious? You took your car 15 miles out of town to avoid my offer to fix it for free? The response is a heavy dose of Squidward Grinch face. I don't want to owe you anything. You wouldn't owe me anything. I'm practically whining. I would have been happy to do it. He's sarcastic. Well, so long as you're happy. That's not what I mean, and you know it. I enjoy doing favors for my friends. Mr. Kermit doesn't like that, so I adjust my word choice. For people I know. You used to be my I remember. That's it. My chance to clear the air and apologize. But as soon as the thought pops into my head, I know he won't let me. Better to shut up about it. Maybe as the two of us spend more time together, I'll get another chance. And maybe the moon will fly. When the Porsche reaches Kingston Auto Works, Mr. Kermit takes out his wallet and tries to pay me for the gas. When I won't accept it, he stuffs a $20 bill into the glove compartment and gets out, bothering to say thank you. I get out too and receive a generous help Squidward Grinch face. I can handle it from here, he asserts. I'm going in with you. I don't want you to get ripped off. These guys are all crooks. Including you? Mr. Kermit inquires innocently. I run a totally honest shop. Still, I feel my cheeks flush. An old clunker like yours, the parts probably have to come from the third world. Who knows what they'll try to charge you for them? It must make an impression because Mr. Kermit actually allows me to follow him inside. The place is a dump. You could probably catch a plague just standing there breathing in the air. The mechanic behind the counter instantly recognizes me. Hey, you're Jake Terranova. Here. My very good friend is picking up his car, I reply pointedly. I want to make sure he's getting a fair deal. We barely know each other, Mr. Kermit sets the record straight. The mechanic picks up a clipboard. Which car? The Coco Nerd, the teacher tells him. The what? Mr. Kermit flushes. It's a Chrysler Concorde, 1992. One of my students calls it that. He's different. I snap my fingers. Parker, right? What's up with that kid? He's got a lot of mechanical ability, but ask him to read the name off a part, and it comes out pure gobbledygook. It's not gobbledygook, he says, insulted on Parker's behalf. The boy's got a perception problem. He sees all the letters, but his mind rearranges them. Concord to Coco Nerd. Like an anagram, the mechanic butts in. You should meet my boss. He's an anagrammatic. You look at a word, and to you, it's just a jumble. But he can pick it out in a heartbeat. Poor Parker. The kid's got real potential. But how's he ever going to pass engineering exam if he can't read the questions? All right, where's the car? Car's not ready. There's a part coming from the Bahamas, and it's held up by customs. Instead of getting mad, Mr. Kermit acts like he's in a completely different world. Anagrams, he repeats slowly. He grabs my arm. Let's go. Well, we will end there, my friends. I didn't have to run inside. So glad I sprayed myself down. And so glad I got to read these awesome books with you. Well, as you can see, the sun is going down. And we are at the end of Miss Hope's Reading Hour outside edition on this marvelous Monday. So glad I got to be here with you all and to read these great books. I hope that you have a great rest of your evening and that you have a terrific Tuesday. And I will meet you right back here on a wonderful Wednesday on Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Until then, my friends.